Hey guys, Anthony here. Wanted to share with you the details of the second quarter um, market update that I just completed and made available on our website. So as I'm working here to get it loaded up, I will share my screen and then go over the details of the reports that I shared. So let's see. So here we go. So this is the landing page for our second home market report here in South Jersey. And took a lot of time early this week to kind of go over the numbers and look at what was relevant in our market, what changed, what kind of momentum we're continuing to build, and then aggregate that here for us to review. So as I scroll down here, we can see the beginning. What we've kind of seen taking shape here in Atlantic County is a continuation of the momentum that had been established in the first quarter. We've seen, at a glance, we've seen a number of total sales transactions take place are up 8.5% year over year. We've seen also a slight reduction in the number of bank-owned sales. So in the first quarter, if you remember from the report, just a little over one in every four homes that sold in the first quarter here in Atlantic County was a bank-owned property. Now we're seeing just about one in five. So a little bit of a momentum building among normal transactions, and that's certainly been good. And it's also been reflected in the fact that our median home sale price saw its first uptick that we've had in literally since pre-casino closures. So a lot of good news that's been happening. As we look down here and we look at the last 5 years or 4 years looking back, the number of second quarter sales up 8.5%. We had a big jump last year in the second quarter from over 2016 to 2015. Our first half sales are also up 14% year over year. So again, a continuation in a lot of momentum. As we move into median home sales price, we can see exactly what I had identified. We've got our first uptick from 160 to 164.9 in median home sale price in the broad Atlantic County market. Now, obviously, we have a very segmented Atlantic County market here between not just distressed and non-distressed, which I'm going to break down, but also dependent upon, obviously, geography. Our island communities are in far greater momentum already, and our mainland communities are still in like a stabilization type process. So as we scroll down, I explained in a little more detail, like I did at the end of the first quarter, about the differences between where median home sale prices were for distressed inventory versus non-distressed inventory. And you can see the prices were actually, they were up marginally overall, right? 164.9 versus 160 for the second quarter last year. When we look into the non-distressed, we're actually up, median home sale price of non-distressed homes is up by $10,000, $215,000 for the second quarter of 2017 versus $205,000 for the second quarter of 2016. So nice jump. Also, the median home sale price of bank-owned sales was up just a little bit, but you can see the significant difference between the sales price of bank-owned properties versus non-distressed. Right. So good information overall. We got a lot of good momentum here in the market. I now want to jump over, and the other thing that I did was I dialed in and brought in a more detailed look at the rest of all the towns and communities within Atlantic County. So in jumping into that view, here we are, another page on our site, the second quarter 2017 market update in detail. So as we scroll through and we start to look at the individual towns, now this is all sales, residential, condominiums, so that's single family homes and condominiums. No commercial, no multifamily, no vacant land, are all aggregated to come up with these details. And again, these are second quarter transactions. So you can see what happened in terms of the number of sales activity together with the percentage change in median home sale price. So you can see that all of the offshore, like the mainland communities, were relatively, not huge differences. Some takeaways, some give backs from town to town, and they've largely been a little volatile over the course of the last couple of quarters. But also bear in mind, we're dealing with really, really small markets. Linwood, 37 sales. Northfield, Summers Point, like really small markets. So you tend to see bigger variations from a percentage standpoint when you're dealing with really small towns. Overall prices have remained, if you look at the overall market offshore, they've remained relatively stable, is the best way that I can describe it. Where we see more, higher levels of price decline, we tend to have just gone through a quarter where there were a few more bank sales that will impact that. As we move into the second home markets, we can see Ventnor, Margate, Wallingport, Atlantic City, Brigantine, Ocean City, all up year over year in terms of median home sale price. A lot of momentum, a lot of excitement overall in those markets, and certainly we're excited to see that. We're excited also to see like what's been happening in Atlantic City, where we're kind of reversing, the last couple of years' trends. We're seeing some real sustainable job growth happen in sectors outside of gaming, which is exciting for us. And also seeing a lot of development eyes moving into the market and seeing a lot of like anything that's coming onto the market that's bank owned in Atlantic City, in Ventnor, the north end of Ventnor, is we're seeing basically sell with multiple offers within a matter of a couple of days. And so that's an exciting like foundation building movement, and the first that we've seen to that nature in the last couple of years. So good news happening there. The further southern seashore communities, Ocean City's been solid. Once we completed the first year past Superstorm Sandy, that market's been in momentum ever since. So lots of good, good information happening there. The last segment that I will touch on the next video will be absorption rate. I did an absorption rate report following my first quarter report, and so that's not yet complete, but that'll be complete sometime within the next week. And so super excited about that. And just excited about the momentum that's here in general. So any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns that people want to touch on, please don't feel free to reach out. We'd be excited to have the opportunity to jump in and help answer some of those questions. And the last thing I wanted to share was sitting behind me is a camera that we're excited about having here now at Dwell. You may have seen the video or some of the three-dimensional virtual tours that we've been utilizing in the marketing of homes. This page is here. It's simply dwell.com/page/V R, so virtual reality. So we now have this camera that's sitting right behind me here that does these 3D tours. I can't bring the tour up live interactively and be on the screen share app during Facebook Live, but you can simply go to this page. I'll post the link below, and you can experience like just a completely different opportunity to be able to walk through a home, literally like in virtual reality. We have these super cool virtual reality headsets, which you just simply insert a smartphone into, and then you can actually take like a virtual walkthrough of the property as though you're walking through it. If you don't have a headgear, call me, I'll bring it to you. Or you could simply go on, right from your computer, you could pull this up, use your mouse or use your arrows on your keyboard and literally take like a virtual walk through a property when one of these tours has been completed. So look for more of these on this page. We'll continue to share them, and excited about the technology, excited about kind of changing the conversation about how people view property online in today's market. So super excited to share that with you. Again, any questions about the market, you certainly know who to reach out to. Be excited to help you, excited to have any of our great and expanding group be able to bring a higher level of expectation, a higher level of experience to your needs as we're now, more than 3 weeks into the second half of 2017. So excited about that. Have a great rest of the afternoon, rest of the day, and look forward to seeing you soon.